Ignat's corner, beyond Bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, flips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises. It just had to be. Dax corner and it goes. Glance towards goal, and Rovers have taken the lead. And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season. It may well be the goal that sends Rovers back into the Championship.
Good evening, Blackburn Rovers fans, and welcome to Fixture Release Day here on Rovers Chat. Obviously buzzing to have all of you join us. Can't wait for this. Our attention turns away from international football for the moment. It's been an absolute pleasure watching England play and see Big Ben himself tearing up for Chile. We go back into club football as fixtures release. They release in just under 15 minutes time. So hopefully we get a good run to start the season, and let's see who we get. So as we've seen in the chat here, remember to submit your fixtures for the opening game of the season. Hopefully fans return sooner rather than later. I'm sure that those out there will be anticipating a return back to Ewood Park. And I can't wait personally to see it, but I'm sure the fans who can actually go will be loving it as well. So welcome to all of you just joining us here at the moment. Should be a brilliant stream. And hopefully we get a decent run to start the season. As I say, so we've got the first comment here actually at the moment from Matt Brown saying Preston first game. We'll have to see, but we'll go a quick throw over to our sponsor for the moment. We are, of course, sponsored by Blue Rose Capital. And, of course, we are also sponsored by 6yardsout.com.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.
Yeah, cheers, Ryan. Obviously, Mr. Apparel himself not being able to be here today. Obviously, I suppose it's currently 5:45 in Melbourne at the moment, Thursday night. I suppose most of you will be at work at the moment, hence why I'm flying solo today. First ever host on Rovers Chat stream. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Got a couple of comments. One from mate of mine, Cam Darwin, who's a Wigan fan. So not relevant in the Championship streams, of course. But, hopefully, obviously, Wigan League One, their fixtures will be coming out, of course. So, interested to see who they get. And obviously, we've got the Carabao Cup later on today as well. We're at 20-1 Melbourne time. So, I think that's, what would that be for in English time? I'm not even too sure. It would be 1:40, I think. Does that make sense? I'm not even sure. But it's today. It's later on today. Someone in the chat can help me out there. But the comment from Luke Howard, we're going up this year. Diaz, 30 goals incoming. I can't wait to order the Rovers shirt, to be honest. But the only query is whether I get Brereton on the back or Brereton Diaz. So I'm going to have to wait to see what he goes with, and then we'll be fine. But he's been on some amazing form for Chile, which is great to see. Make sure to put all your comments in the chat, though, as to who we're going to get first game. We've seen Matt says Preston. I don't think we'll get Preston opening day. Would be nice, though. But obviously, we've got the friendlies confirmed. We've got AFC filed Bradford, Bolton, and Leeds. Has to be Brereton Diaz. I agree. It has to be now, doesn't it? He has to have it. He's been brilliant. It's been brilliant, all the content over the summer. And his goal the other day was quite amazing to see against Bolivia. So I think it will be Brereton Diaz, but we'll have to have a look. Of course, Chris Hayes earlier on, new contributor to the channel this summer. Can't wait to see what he's got to produce for us. But West Brom at home, that will be a baptism of fire. First game of the season. We haven't actually won a home game since I think it was 2010-11 against Everton. I remember they were in their pink kit that day. I think it was Nikola Kalinic with the only goal in a 1-0 win at Ewood with that pink kit that, was quite synonymous with Everton for that season. Quite a strange colour choice, but of course they went with it. I think it was a goalkeeping error as well from Tim Howard, I seem to remember. I mean, I was quite young at the time. I would have been 6 at the time. That's how long it's been. We play Sheffield United, says Rais. That will be another interesting one. Obviously, last time we played them in the league, we got absolutely battered away. I think it was 3-0, wasn't it? Obviously, Travis and Smallwood getting sent off that day, which not a great day for Rovers fans. And obviously, we played them in the Cup as well, in the League Cup, not too long after. I think John Buckley will shine this season. I hope so. He's got bags and bags of potential as John Buckley, so hopefully he can shine there. So we've got about 10 minutes to go. So I've got 10 minutes, and then the fixtures will be released. I'll bring those up as soon as I can. Obviously, got the debut tonight on the stream, so I'll have to see how to do that, but I'm sure I'll be able to work something out. But can't wait for this. It's one of the best days on the footballing calendar, I think, seeing the fixtures come out. Let's see what the reaction will be. Obviously, not only getting fans back to Ewood Park, but also on away days as well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans in the stream at the moment who'll be buzzing to get back on the away days. You know, it's a great experience, isn't it? Just the whole day getting ready for the game. Let's see who that first away day is. Hi all, it's good to be back. Dizzy Thumbs, one of the Rovers Chat comment legends, is back. You know the season's back when Dizzy Thumbs is here. And he is. Luke Howard, is it coming home? Yes, is the answer to that question. It's the only feasible answer. Of course it's coming home. But of course, welcome to you all. Obviously, first stream for the 2021-22 Sky Bet Championship season. And hopefully it's a good season for Blackburn. Hopefully it's our last season in the Championship. But who knows? We've been too long out of the Premier League. But we'll have to see. If this is our last season in the Championship, hopefully it's going up rather than down. But of course, we will have to see. Still waiting for these fixtures to drop. Hayden Neal says Peterborough. Hayden, put your neck on the line. Home or away? Home or away? I take Peterborough on the opening day. Obviously, newly promoted club. I mean, another club who've come up from League One is Blackpool. I think that's what I'm looking for. Blackpool away. Obviously, when we played them in our League One season, won there. We almost outnumbered their support in the away end, which was wonderful to see. So Blackpool will be one that I'll be looking for. I don't think we'll play them too early on, but I'm hoping that's the one I'm really penciling in. Blackpool and Preston, the local derbies. Should be good to see. I agree that Buckley's going to be a massive player this season. Going to need to replace Brayton Diaz once he becomes Benzema's partner at Real Madrid. That is quality, Chris. That is quality. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. Hope Brayton Diaz plays in the blue and white for years to come. Hayden Neal says away. Not Blackpool away. Way too early. I don't think we'll play him too early. But hopefully it is soon. It's what I'm definitely looking for. PNE at home. I doubt that'll be on the opening day. Would be good to see. That would be great to kickstart our season with a local derby. Luke says, "Have you seen the league fixtures, mate?" No, I haven't. I kind of don't want to see them, to be honest. I want to, see the, I want all the excitement. I don't want it spoiled for me. But if you've seen them, then of course you can reveal them if you want to. Gary Smith, California Rover himself, Sheffield United at home. Yeah, that would be an interesting way to start the season. I want to start the season with a win for once. Obviously, we haven't done it in years. It's been over a decade since we've started the season with a win. I think Sheffield United will be one of the tougher tasks this season. Obviously, coming down from the Premier League. Had a shocking season in the top flight, but I think they've still got some quality in the team that will do well at Championship level. So we'll have to see how that one goes. Sheffield United, though, I think they'll be right up there. I don't think they'll go up this season, but I think they'll be at least fighting for a spot, at least in the top six. So it'll be interesting to see how they do after a couple of seasons away from the Championship. They're finally back. So we'll have to see how they go on. Obviously, we're more concerned about Rovers, but you've got to look around for those. So apparently, Preston's second game in away and Fulham at home first game, according to Luke. Can I just ask where you've got those sources from? Not doubting you in any way, but just to be curious. So Preston second game in away. So that's our first away day of the season at Deepdale. Oh, that's a tasty one, is that? That's a tasty one. I mean, if we can replicate the 3-0 away at Deepdale from this season, then that'll be quality. So, Luke, where have you got that one from? I'd be really interested to find out where you found that one. Just want to find this comment. Brio Diaz will partner arm up top £50 million strike partnership. Just guessing, says Luke. So he's got no credible sources whatsoever. So we'll have to see. I mean, if you're right, Luke, mate, tell me what the lottery numbers are, please. Because I'll probably need them. Thoughts on the Derby and Wickham news? Of course, that's something I've got to touch on. So last night, the EFL came out with an absolute bombshell saying they're going to release two fixtures, one with Derby in the Championship and one with Wickham in the Championship. Reason being, obviously, Wycombe finished 22nd in the league, and obviously Derby have got their own financial troubles off the pitch, so Wycombe may well be returning to the Championship at the expense of Derby, who might be going down to League One. So it'll be an interesting one to see. Obviously, when we see Derby or Wycombe on that team sheet, we don't know if we're going away to Adams Park or if we're going back to Pride Park. We'll have to see how that one goes. But obviously, no one knows about that one just yet. So that's one that I think we will have to wait and see in that regard. But it's an absolute bombshell. I didn't think the AFL would do that. I thought they would have done it earlier on, especially as they were fighting for to stay up even in that last part of the season. I thought they would have announced it then, not now in preparation for a new season. But the EFL have done some things. They've done it slightly differently to others. But I mean, it's a weird one right before the start of the season. But I'm sure that they'll get it sorted before the first weekend in August anyway. Luke, mate, you sold me down the river here. I thought you had real credible sources, and I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, we've got, I don't know, Middlesbrough away to start the season really credibly." But no, you're only guessing. But fair enough for having a crack. Will Ryan Nambe score this year? No, Ryan Nambe won't score a goal for Rovers this year. I would love to see it. I would celebrate like mental. I remember it was a game away where he probably should have scored, and I nearly went mental. I was at school, just sat there watching it with a few of my mates down there, and I nearly went absolutely crazy because I thought Ryan Nambe were going to score, but he didn't quite. Simon Johnston, so he's all over this Derby news. Got the feeling they'll do it to set an example. Derby have been dodgy with the FFP since it came in. Yes, they have. They've done some interesting things with Derby, and I think that to set a precedent, this will be the one to do it. It would be an absolute bombshell, though, to send Derby down. They've never really done much like this in recent years anyway. There's been massive point deductions and all that, but they've never really, explicitly sent a team down. So that would be the most surprising news. I mean, surprising in the sense that they've not done it, and it would be, the first time in a long while. But of course, sending a team down, you've got to have some sort of serious punishment to do that. I think Derby have been a little bit shady, if I may say so, off the pitch. So maybe they might do that to sort of scare other teams away from doing that. Dizzy thumbs. I just hope he puts a cross in. Well, I mean, that's what you expect from your right back in Nambe, don't you? As long as he signs a contract, then that'd be nice. 3 minutes to go. Here we go. Excitement builds here on Rovers Chat as we wait for the release of the fixtures. I'm assuming it's all Rovers fans in here, other than Cam, who was in here before, a Wigan fan. But we'll have to see if any other fans come in. Of course, we've had all the on the other side throughout the end of last season, so maybe some of those fans are still sticking around. I wouldn't mind some more predictions because we haven't really got many. In terms of mine, I think it'll be a mid-table team away. I've just got a feeling we've got like a mid-table team away. So that's my prediction for the moment. In terms of a team, we'll go Stoke away to start the season. I'm going to predict Stoke away. Trip back to the Bet365. I reckon that's the one. Obviously, last season didn't work out too well. Nick Powell goal separating the sides. Got a couple of decent trips down there, though. So I'll say Stoke away to start the season. And in terms of the rest of the chat, we've said Fulham at home, Sheffield United at home, Peterborough away was another one we've seen in there. Sheffield United was another one. Hopefully one of us is right. And I will share screen as soon as we get those fixtures. Should be the one. So I'll bring that up in a moment as soon as they go live, just so we can see straight away who those fixtures are. We'll have all the reaction needed for the release of the fixtures. Let's go on to Blackburn Rovers Twitter. And away we go. What a day this is. What a brilliant day this is. Fixture release date. You've got to love to see it. People have been saying we're getting Tommy Doyle from Manchester City on loan. That would be a good signing. That would be a very good signing. I haven't really watched him play, but heard some very, very good things. Obviously, Leighton Clarkson from Liverpool has been linked, which I would absolutely love to see. He's been class for Liverpool's youth sides and played in the Champions League against FC Midtjylland in Denmark. So hopefully we get him in. I reckon he's the one that I'd be looking forward to getting, especially after the Liverpool success with Harvey Elliott last year. We know he's not coming back, which is a real shame. And we've hit 6 o'clock. We've hit 6 o'clock. Are the fixtures out? Are they out on the Twitter? I'm assuming that's the first place they're going to release them. But we have hit 6 o'clock. The fixtures are out. Okay, they're on the website. They're on the Rovers website. I thought they would go on the Twitter first, but starting with Swansea, it says in the URL. We're starting with Swansea. I don't think anyone had that. We're starting with the Swans, the South Welsh side. We'll be playing against us first. The URL hasn't come up yet. It says in the URL, the screen hasn't even come up yet. But it looks like Swansea to start the season. Oh, that's another one. That's not. That's going to be a tough one. You've got to have confidence in the side. Of course you do. Hopefully we win there. But it looks like Swansea to start. Outside of that, I haven't been able to see anything else. Because the URL hasn't worked. Which is a real shame. Hopefully they just release one back up on the Twitter. Or if there's another one that we can find. And the teams are up. The URL isn't currently working. But Swansea to start the season, we know. Working from home and Rovers Chat. Perfect combo. Yeah, that's the way. Just trying to find the fixtures for you. But nothing at the moment, which is a real shame. Because the URL has not decided to work. Is it here? No. But the big news to start the season is that Blackburn will be playing Swansea in our first game of the season. Not even sure where at this point. I probably should check Swansea Twitter to see if they have released something. It says, yeah, Swansea first game there. I might just quickly go and check Swansea Twitter to see if they've told us where they're going to be playing. They'll have probably released theirs, I'd assume. It's got on Swansea's Twitter. They've got the Rovers flag and a picture of Eatwood, so it may well be Swansea at home. Yeah, trip to Lancashire, so it's Swansea at home to start the season. It's Swansea at home. So there's the news, and for everyone else who's not as slow as me, Millwall away, second game of the season, and Nottingham Forest away, third game of the season. I'm just really trying to find these fixtures. But I mean, I guess I've been waiting months for this, so a few more minutes won't hurt too much. Loving the new website, by the way, despite the fact that I can't get to the fixtures on it. Maybe if I go to the matches, perhaps, maybe they would have put them there. But, you know, a few technical difficulties wouldn't go amiss. Of course, would they on the first Rovers Chat stream I've done. Let's see if they are up here. Is there any? Can I just go to the chat? Is there any place I can go to find them, Hayden? Is it just me you can't see them, or where have you found these? I would like to be able to see them on my own screen if that's okay. Are they up on the Twitter yet? No. It's a real pain, I'll tell you what. But I'm sure I'll be able to work it out eventually. But as for my reaction to the Swansea game, I really would have liked to start the season with a win, and obviously we could still do that, but it'll be a tough assignment. I would have liked to get Swansea out of the way first, by the way. If you'd have said Swansea, I would have liked Swansea away to start the season. But it's Swansea at home. It's not too bad. Obviously, that was the last time we had fans in the stadium. And we'll go. What I'll do for the moment is I'll just have a look at the opening day in a general sense for the Championship. and then I will find the rest of them as soon as I can get them. So opening day of the Championship is as follows. If I can sort out the stream. There we go. I'm not too much of a pro at this, so I'm trying to bring this up. Let's go add to stream. And there we go. So first day of the Championship sees Bournemouth against West Brom. That's a massive, massive game. Obviously, Blackburn and Swansea we know all about. Blackpool start away at Bristol City. I've been checking on the website. I've been going to matches, but my website wasn't loading for me, so I'll try that again in a minute. Cardiff host Barnsley. Coventry will play Nottingham Forest. Derby against Huddersfield. Fulham against Middlesbrough. Luton Town against Peterborough. We've got Preston hosting Hull. QPR playing host to Millwall in a London derby. Sheffield United host Birmingham. And Reading will travel to the Bet365, which was my prediction. And I have obviously got that one wrong. As you say, so I'll try matches again. It didn't work for me a moment ago. I've been spamming that button. It still says loading. So I'm just trying to find a way to get them up on the screen. It's a real pain that it's not come up yet. Maybe I just need to give it time. So in fact, if one of you could send me a screenshot, someone in the chat, someone sent me a DM. Thank you. Sorry, I apologise. Nothing of mine is working. But I should have got a DM apparently from Rovers Chat. If I could go to Twitter, that would be nice because I've not got anything at the moment. If I could go to Twitter, someone could send me a DM on Twitter at Ollie Walker Peel with a picture of the fixtures. That would be absolutely brilliant. Because I haven't even been able to find them myself yet. In fact, here we go. I might have got there. I have got there. Finally. I've just opened up a new tab and we are there. All right, let me make sure I share this screen. So we'll stop that one and we'll bring up the next one. So apologies for that, everyone in the chat. But here we go. First time I'm seeing these, so it's a bit of a live reaction for everyone. We'll run through all of these and then we'll sort of talk about the rest of them in depth. So we'll just remove this comment from Hayden. Thanks for the information. So as we scroll down, we start with Swansea on the 8th of August. On the 7th of August, that will be at midday. Then it's Millwall, Nottingham Forest, our first midweek game on Wednesday. These are all Melbourne times. Please be aware of that. So obviously you'll need to translate those across because this is local time for me. West Brom and Middlesbrough. So that's probably a mix and match August. That obviously West Brom, I think they'll be up there. Swansea will be up there. Nottingham Forest, Millwall. They're winnable games. A couple of those at home as well. Then we've got Luton in September. Hull, Barnsley, Cardiff, Huddersfield. That is a very good month for Rovers. That is a very good month. I'll take that. Obviously, Hull, new promoted side. Barnsley, they did so well last season. But again, I think that's a decent month. Then the first local derby of the season sees us travel to Blackpool at the start of October. And then Coventry after the international break. And another midweek game, midweek at Loftus Road, or the Kind Prince Foundation Stadium, as it is now known. Midweek, that is a shocker for travelling time, but I'm sure a lot of our fans will get down there anyway. Then Reading and Derby to close out October. In terms of November, a couple of the relegated sides back-to-back. And the first 6:45 game for me in Melbourne is at home to Fulham. Then we've got Sheffield United, Bristol City, Peterborough, and Stoke. Then to start December, Preston, Bournemouth, Birmingham, Hull, and Barnsley, including Boxing Days away at Hull. So that's not too far a travel for Rovers fans. A game in Yorkshire, not too bad. January, Huddersfield, Cardiff, Middlesbrough, Luton, Swansea, Nottingham Forest, West Brom, Millwall, and Sheffield United, and Queen's Park Rangers in February. There's not a game on my birthday this year. We had Barnsley on the morning of my birthday, which we obviously lost Barnsley away, which was a painful one. Then Fulham, Bristol City, Derby, Reading in March. Then Coventry back at the Ricoh Arena to open up April. Blackpool, Peterborough, Stoke, and Preston North End at Deepdale. So there it is, 23rd of April, 3 o'clock kickoff. That was the one we were all looking for. It's right at the end of April. And then in May, we've got Bournemouth. And like last season, the final day game will be against Birmingham, but this time we are away instead of at home. So, Rovers fans, instant reaction to those fixtures. What do we think? I think they're not too bad. Obviously, the start of the season is a bit of an interesting one. I would have liked a slightly easier game on paper than Swansea. But it is at home, so hopefully we can get all the fans back at Ewood and hopefully get a result there. Millwall, Nottingham Forest, West Brom and Middlesbrough. I don't think that's a bad opening month, to be honest. I do not think that's a bad opening month whatsoever. Definitely looking forward to that Preston game. That's the one that jumps off the page straight away at the end of April. Preston away. We'll take that 100%. And when do we have Preston at home? We have Preston at home 5th of December. That'll be a tasty one. Can't wait for Preston to come back to Ewood. Hopefully we turn them over. But a few local derbies. Obviously Blackpool have come up. 2nd of October, 3 p.m. kickoff at Bloomfield Road. It's another one, obviously. Blackpool. We haven't played Blackpool for a little while. Obviously, like we say, did well in the League One season against them. If I could speak, that'd be nice. And obviously got an FA Cup over them, FA Cup win over them recently, rather. Birmingham last game of the season again, Chris. It's weird how they've done that. But obviously, of course, we're playing away this time rather than at home. But any instant reactions? Let's get the comments in the chat. Let's get some interaction going. And we'll be able to sort it out. But the big news is Swansea will come to Ewood. First game of the season. That will be the return of fans for league games since we played Swansea at the end of February in 2020. It's funny how the world works sometimes. It's almost a full 360. So from Swansea to Swansea for Rovers in terms of fans. Obviously, it looks like we will get fans, hopefully anyway, for the friendly against Leeds. But in terms of league football, it's Swansea at Ewood Park on the opening day. Obviously, of course, we know at the start of every football season the optimism that builds up. So it's not too far away from that game against Swansea. 44 days until we will play host to the South Welsh side. That doesn't seem so far away. Hopefully football's come home before then anyway. So we can take that optimism from England and even Chile, if Chile can win the Copa America as well. And then we can just build into the start of the season in terms of league football. Millwall, Nottingham Forest, West Brom and Middlesbrough in the opening month. And if we have a look at December, obviously December's the big one for Rovers. Preston, North End, Bournemouth, Birmingham, Hull, Barnsley. That's a tough December. But hopefully we can get a win on the board. Hopefully Preston and Bournemouth. We deserve to beat Bournemouth, I think, at the opening day last season. Again, away at the Vitality. So hopefully we can go one better and win there. Or two better if you're counting the draw, of course. Birmingham and Hull, 2 very winnable games on paper. And then Barnsley, we don't know what they're going to serve up after, really going above expectations this season. 44 days to make 5 or 6 signings. Bit tough when you're under an embargo, but I like the optimistic mentality. That's probably something else we could go through the chat as well. Who do we want to sign? Who do we want to sign? So we've got the likes of Leighton Clarkson's been linked. Jerry Yates is another one that we've looked at, according to rumours, if you want to believe what you want to read anyway. Obviously, Adam Armstrong's been the main one. Obviously, in terms of outgoings that has been rumoured, there's been an absolute myriad of Premier League clubs who are after him. Ben Brereton, a few links to Leeds. I don't want to believe those, especially after the form that has been going on. That initiation of Wonderwall was brilliant, by the way, the other day, which we saw. So at least we got that to look forward to. So I want your reactions in the chat. Vidal and Vargas. Ben Diaz going to put a word in, hopefully. Vargas is would be a decent signing, I think. Vidal is obviously unrealistic, but Vargas might be a decent one, especially maybe for some experience. Obviously played English football before, for QPR at a loan spell there way back when. But to all the Rovers fans in the chat then, what do we think of those fixtures? They're not too bad, I don't think. Obviously, of course, we've got the Carabao Cup to turn our attention to later on the day. Rovers ball for that draw. I'm gonna stay up till 1 a.m. to watch that in, I reckon. So it should be very, very interesting to see. I just want to keep scrolling through these fixtures, to be honest with you. Hayden says, difficult opening month, and after the end of last season, if we get off to a bad start, could he, I assume you're referring to TM there, could he be gone? It's a real interesting one because there was a lot of us calling for his head during the bad run, through January and February, or at the end of January through February and through March. Especially with fans back as well. If they start calling for his head, then there's a decision to be made, but that's all hypothetical. Maybe we get off to a brilliant start and then we don't need to worry about it. TM's position. Hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we win a few games and TM's position's safe, but it's an interesting one. TM will be under pressure if we don't get a few wins to start the season. But you know, I'm not going to be one to call for his job just yet. I think with Mowbray and Southgate, from my point of view, I'm very, very optimistic. I like to give managers time. I know Mowbray's had a few years in the job, and so has Southgate, but I've got trust in the pair of them, especially Mowbray, and hopefully he does something for us. So in terms of transfers, Chris, Ronan Curtis from Portsmouth's another one. Leighton Clarkson we've mentioned. Ike Ugbo, Ryan Gould, that'll be a tough one, I reckon, and Adam Reach are a few that we have been linked with. Would be nice, especially with the centre mids that have left the club, the likes of Corey Evans and Stuart Downing. Obviously, we do have Harry Pickering to come in from Crewe, who will replace Amari Bell. Obviously, another couple of outgoings being Douglas at left back. Taylor Howard-Bellis has gone to Belgium to play for Anderlecht. Obviously, he came on loan. Harvey Elliott's another big one that we've missed. So we're going to have to do some business on the transfer front, you'd think, if we are going to challenge the upper rungs of the Championship. But yeah, Ronan Curtis would be a massive signing. We've been linked with him for a while, so hopefully that one can be sorted. Is it right that we can't make any cash signings until we submit our accounts for the 30th of June? Leap year man, I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, so don't shoot the messenger. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure you're right there. But, of course, I may well be wrong. So, with these fixtures out then, Blackburn fans, what do we think? What's the most enticing fixture? What's the fixture you're most looking forward to getting down to? Charlie Kirk's another one from Crewe. Obviously, the link up with Harry Pickering would all make sense. So, to all the Blackburn fans, what do we think the most enticing fixture is? What's the fixture we're most looking forward to seeing? For me, it's probably Blackpool. It's probably the Blackpool game. Obviously, Chris, we've just seen in the chat confirm leap year's assumptions there, which is good to see that we can get some confirmation on that. Blackpool is on the 2nd of October at Bluefield Road. That's what I'm looking forward to. Pencil that one in. Obviously, the Swansea game for me, obviously, it's the start of the season. That's a rather interesting one to look forward to. Just while we're here as well, we've got a few minutes left in the stream. Obviously, there's another live stream going on today. This is not the only one. Obviously, got a chat with Elliot Bennett after he's just concluded his time with Blackburn. A few years at the club. He's been an absolute servant. So at 7 o'clock UK time. Make sure to come back to the Rovers Chat YouTube channel, Twitter and Facebook to watch that one. I'm sure that will be a brilliant chat. I'm not sure who's leading that one, but I'm sure that with some of our expert panelists, we'll be absolutely fine in that regard. So just seeing some of the reaction on Twitter. West Brom are the first of the relegated outfits that Rovers will meet on August the 21st. So, of course, they've got Derby in the fixture list at the moment, which is the interesting one that we talked about before. Derby are listed to play Huddersfield on the opening day. It's 8 p.m. tonight. Sorry, not 7. Sorry, I was wrong. 8 p.m. tonight. So it's 8 p.m. with Ryan Hildred, obviously Mr. Apparel himself. So apologies, I thought it was 7. So it's 8 o'clock tonight with Elliot Bennett. Nonetheless, you should get yourselves down there anyway. So it'll be a brilliant stream. One of the more modern-day legends, especially in the Venky's era, at least at the club. Hopefully we get a few fist bumps on the live stream. But yeah, obviously Derby's the interesting one, because at the moment it looks like it will be Derby for the moment at least that will be playing Rovers. We go away there on the 30th of October. So we conclude October at Pride Park. And in terms of the reverse, it's the 15th of March, a midweek, 7:45 kickoff at Ewood. So I suppose that's the one that we sort of need to, watch the space kind of thing, just to see whether it will be Wickham or whether it'll be Derby. But I suppose we've just got to win that game anyway, regardless of who it is. And I suppose as soon as that news comes out, we will we'll obviously know, and we'll fire that through on the Rovers Chat content. I'm sure there'll be someone all over it that'll tweet that out as soon as it happens. So any other comments that we can see? During the embargo, can we still sell? Again, I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not too clued up on embargoes, hoping that Rovers would never be involved in one, but we're embroiled in one at the moment, which is a shame. But obviously, I hope we don't sell any of our players. I mean, obviously Armstrong if we raise cash funds, but it's hard to replace 29 goals in a season. I don't think there's too many we'd want to sell anyway. We'll have to see. There's no way Derby can dodge another bullet. They've been looking to get away with this for years. Agreed. Be great to see Gareth Ainsworth back in the Championship. I mean, back to the Tony Mowbray comment before. If Tony Mowbray is to leave his job, I'd love to see us go after Gareth Ainsworth. I was a bit apprehensive before, but obviously with him being a Rovers fan and having some decent experience, obviously unable to keep Wickham up, it'll be interesting to see if Wickham do come back up, if he can keep them in them second time running, keep him in the division. Because if he can, I think that'll prove his credentials. Especially with the Wickham side that, you know, they fight really hard. They've not really got many superstars on paper, but you know, he gets them galvanised as Gareth Ainsworth, and I think that's something that we need. Chris Hayes says Chris Wilder, the obvious one, or Gareth Ainsworth for me. Chris Wilder would be brilliant, but I just don't think it's realistic, to be honest. I think that's the one of those ones where it's just like it's the most idealistic scenario, and if we can pull it off, it'd be a real coup. But I just don't see it happening. I like to be optimistic, but I think there's a blend between optimism and realism sometimes, and I think Chris Wilder, he's just out of reach, I reckon. In terms of Blackburn managers. So if you are just joining us, the big news is Swansea will visit Ewood Park on the opening day of the season, and the first away day for those fans hoping to get back to away days is at the Den, 14th of August against Millwall. We have got back-to-back away days, obviously Millwall, and then it's Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. So first game against Swansea. In terms of the local derbies, scroll down a bit further. It's Blackpool first, 2nd of October at Bloomfield Road, 3 o'clock kickoff. And then later down the line, it will be Preston at Ewood Park on the 4th of December. Yet again, another 3 o'clock kickoff. In terms of the reverse fixtures, it will be Blackpool again at home, 9th of April, 3 p.m. And Preston a couple of weeks later, 23rd of April at 3 o'clock. In terms of the relegated and promoted sides, well, the first of the new sides that we've got are Blackpool, obviously coming up. Fulham are the first relegated side, I believe, we faced. In fact, no, it was West Brom, I think I read. I may have missed that. Well, West Brom, there they are. Yeah, they are. 21st of August, 3 p.m. West Brom will visit Ewood Park. Blackpool on the 2nd, as we mentioned, coming up from League One. Obviously, we're not sure what's happening with Derby or Wickham. Then 2 relegated sides back-to-back in Fulham and Sheffield United, 4th and 7th of November. That's before an international break too. Oh, my days. That could be an interesting one. Then Peterborough, 24th, midweek. And then Hull at the KCOM on Boxing Day. That's the first few games there against the relegated and promoted sides. So Rovers fans, just before we go, we'll end this one in a couple of minutes. Final summations from the fixture list. Obviously, a bit of an interesting one to see. You know, like I say, it's a tough one to start the season. It's a really, really tough one. But hopefully the lads can go out there and get 3 points. You know, it just ramps up the excitement for the start of the season. It really ramps it up. 40-odd days it is now. 44 days until the start of the 21-22 league season. So we've got anyone in the chat looking to just put those opinions forward as to how they think the season will go, and that the opening day will also go. Tough to see where Perth points are coming from. Hope I'm wrong. So do I, Leap Year Man. So do I. I think we could potentially grab a draw against Swansea. And obviously we beat Millwall last season away, 2-0. So, you know, a repeat of that would be nice. Nottingham Forest, you know, obviously on paper, they're not, you know, jumping off the page as a top side. So they've got some good players. But I think Forest, if it's not Millwall, I think Forest will be the first points of the season. Obviously, the first few home games we've got, the first 2 are Swansea and West Brom, who Swansea obviously the defeated playoff finalists, and West Brom just coming down from the Premier League. We don't know if they're going to retain any of their players, or you know, which players they'll retain. I think Mateus Pereira will probably go. He'll be the most sought after one from the Baggies, so we'll have to see what squad they come into the to that game with. I suppose we've got a long time to wait, though, haven't we? Because a lot can change in 44 days, especially in football. It all depends on our recruitment between now and the start of the season, definitely. If we lose Armstrong, I hope we lose him early, if that makes sense. So we know that we're going to be without him and we can sort of get a replacement in. I think Jerry Yates would be a nice one. I think Blackpool wouldn't want to lose him, but if they're going to have to sell him, they'll know that Blackburn have just sold a striker for hopefully what is around 20 million. I saw one of my mates, Elliot, is in the chat. He's a Newcastle fan, and he's grinning every time I mention the 40% sell-on clause that Newcastle have got in the Armstrong deal, which is a real pain because obviously you don't want to be losing that much. It's quite a sizable amount. Season is very dependent on what happens with Armstrong. Keep him when we finish mid-table, lose him in potentially bottom 6. I mean, we're quite a different club to Brentford, but obviously Brentford have lost a couple of massive strikers throughout their journey up to the Prem. Obviously, they've lost Watkins, lost Neil Mope, and obviously they've had a journey, but maybe selling Armstrong, especially off the pitch in terms of the embargo and financial situation, maybe selling Armstrong's imperative, but obviously it's really tough to replace 29 goals a season, as we of course alluded to. Dizzy Thumbs, I'm a little worried about this season, considering how last season finished. I agree. Sadly, I agree. Obviously, last season, we started with so much optimism, signing Barry Douglas, who we thought might be on for a third promotion, Harvey Elliott. We started so rosy, and then it just didn't happen at the end of the day. Especially at the start of the season, we've got Swansea and West Brom first games at Ewood. It's not a great start, and we've got to start well, or else having fans back in. We know what us Rovers fans are like, especially in stadiums, through the Steve Keane era and the Owen Coyle era, absolutely berating the managers. So hopefully there's not a negative mood that comes back into Ewood. Hopefully it's all positive, and hopefully the results on the pitch can supplement that. Leap year man, you never know. Armour could sign the new deal that's on the table. Hopefully he does. I mean, that's Captain Obvious, isn't it, me saying that? Hopefully he does, because he's one of the best strikers in the league, if not the best striker in the league now that, well, definitely Tony and Pookie have been promoted, and Andre Ayew's gone. So he probably is the best striker who's currently preparing to play in the Championship next season. So he's not a player that we want to lose, but, with the terrible situation we've got off the pitch, it might be something we just have to do. Which would be a real pain because he's a brilliant player, as we all know, that's got us out of jail on so many occasions in the season just gone. But, it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? You keep him and, you're looking up, or you sell him and the situation off the pitch is ameliorated a little bit. So interested to see what Rovers will do there. In terms of very little comments coming in for the moment, I think we've all had our say at the moment. But to sum it up, final day is Birmingham. First day of the season is against Swansea. That'll be the return of fans to league football at Ewood. Over a year and a half after their last game there, which was against Swansea, that 2-2 draw, that last-minute equaliser from Bradley Johnson, giving us a point on that day. But it's been brilliant to broadcast the start of the season, fixture release day, and football is on its way back. Club football is nearly back as we know it. 44 days away to the start of the season. Make sure to tune in to the Elliot Bennett stream, 8 o'clock tonight. I'll correct myself. 8 o'clock tonight with the former Blackburn Rovers captain, talking about his 5 years or so in the blue and white halves. Thanks for joining me. I've been Ollie Walker-Peel tonight. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully not only Rovers get themselves a decent draw in the Carabao Cup, but it's a good season looking up on the pitch. Thank you, and bye for now.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.